Hi, today I wanted to talk to you about the strength of smartphones and in particular the power of mobiles. Um, those of you that really follow Google, Eric Schmidt, who was the executive chairman in December 2013, gave a statement that said the trend that had been mobile was winning, it has won. Now that's almost 4 years ago, and that was, I think, the first point at which you've got somebody of real status saying mobile is going to take over the world. And here we are now, almost 4 years later, and it's really interesting to see how far mobile has come along, and that view of Eric Schmidt has been proved absolutely right. Those of you that kind of are interested in research, every year Ofcom release a communications market report, and it's published around August 2000. It's published around August, and this year it went to 243 pages. So the front sheet looks a little bit like that. If you want to go and have a look at it, and there's a link in the post for you to go and download it. And section 5 really focuses on the strength of mobile, the internet, basically online communications. And I've kind of pulled out some stats and thought I'd share my views on them, because I've been a long admirer of this report, because it really does hone in on the UK market in particular, and the use of smartphones as a particular topic, as well as other things like TV, post, anything to do with communication really. And this year there were 4 or 5 key metrics for me that I thought you might find useful. So the first was that the smartphone device is now the device that adults are most likely to own. That's 3/4 of UK adults now own one, 76% to be exact. And you've got a whopping 96% of 16 to 34-year-olds owning one. Now that's huge. That's pretty much full coverage of a huge demographic of people that are using smartphones as a form of communication. Let's just flip that a little bit. Desktop PC ownership is now to 29%. It's down. That's 29% across the UK, and it ranks as the lowest used device for internet access at just 11%. Think about it. You've got all these businesses. You've got the power of a desktop PC, the size of a screen, which you can do so much. I mean, don't know about a lot of you, but I've got 2 screens here to kind of manage all the information I've got coming into me. Yet still, across the UK, just 11% access the internet, in particular, through a desktop PC. That's quite telling. The next stat for me, which is probably one of the most important, I think, is again around internet use, but again where it's impacting in the smartphone market. So back in 2013, smartphones were being used to access the internet by 15% of UK adults. Now, today, that's up to 42%. I mean, that's almost 2.5 times increase. Look at the laptop use. Laptop use is now down 26%, and it was at 46% in 2013. So almost half of people have stopped using laptops to access the internet. The biggest one, though, again, is desktop PCs. They're down almost a third. They were at 28% in 2013. That's still quite low, I thought, but it's now just 11% in 2017. So the smartphone really is dominating people's use for accessing the internet communications. Looking at the use of mobile apps, a particular interest area for me, 47% of 16 to 24-year-olds are using apps and instant messaging platforms such as WhatsApp, Messenger on Facebook, over post. Just think about that for a moment. Post is down a massive decline. Certainly opportunities from a marketing point of view if you want to send something in the mail, but people aren't using it as a primary form of communication. So regular communications are really being channeled in through apps or instant messaging apps. People just aren't resorting to the use of post. And you take that further into businesses. Online banking has been a massive surge in the use of online banking, and people are just not bothered in receiving their statements anymore because the accessibility to their banking through a mobile app, a dedicated platform, just so much easier, so much cleaner, so much faster. And a final stat, which you might find a little bit interesting, social media apps are opened on an average 13 times a day. So there's the likes of Facebook and Twitter. Communication apps, again, like WhatsApp, Instant Messenger, they're open 12 times a day. And 74%, so it's pretty much 3/4 of the UK population between 25 and 34-year-olds are using WhatsApp. That's a massive tell. This is where people are hanging out. These are the kind of platforms that people are using to communicate. And it's really interesting how the use of post and email in particular is shrinking quite considerably given the advent and strength of mobile and in particular smartphones. Anyway, I thought you might like to find that quite useful. The report is really enlightening. Yes, it's 243 pages long, but as I said before, section 5 is probably the most important, and it's definitely worth having a flick through. Okay, any thoughts or comments? Be really interested to hear them. Thanks very much for listening.